My name is Isabella Serna, and I'm going to present to you what my leadership crucibles are. These are the aspects and values that matter to me as a person, and they've created who I am and kind of how I go about my everyday life. So, the first one I'm going to talk about is empathy. Empathy is huge to me because this is really being able to understand certain situations that happen in everyday life. We all go through our own things, and so I think it's very important to be empathetic towards another person and the situations that they go through. Also, growing up, I was wondering what was missing from my life and what was holding me back. I came to realize that I needed comfort in any given situation. This was huge for me, and it's how I best perform in any given situation. If I don't feel that comfort, I'm filled with fear and anxiety. But with that comfort, I'm going to feel fearless. It takes a lot for someone to climb up a palm tree like this. And my equivalent is talking to a room or even talking to my camera right now, that a bunch of people are going to watch me. So being fearless is super important. And with that, it gives me confidence. If I'm able to sit here and talk in front of the camera, I have to have at least somewhat confidence, or else I'm going to stumble and trip over everything I say. And so I think this is super important when it comes to leadership crucibles. Having passion is something I'm important about. So this picture is actually from my work. It's a suicide prevention company, and it's really just formed me into the leader I am today, knowing that I can make a difference because I do have so much passion towards this. And so this began my journey of self-worth. I feel like I needed to do something that was right within my heart and mind. Self-worth is something that I feel like I struggle with along with a lot of people. I want to be the best at what I do, so it's super important for me personally. With that becomes gratitude as well. These are actually some flowers and balloons from when my 13-year-old sister got shot by a gun, and she did survive. And so I learned that gratitude changed everything, and this changed my whole perspective going on with life. And so with perspective, this can be seen as good or bad. I always want to see the best side of every situation, the worst side of every situation. I think this really builds who someone is as a leader to be able to see these sides. And then with perspective, you also do need patience. I believe having patience is incredibly important because I've struggled with patience, and it comes down to the type of mindset you have and the decisions that you will make. And so with patience, it gives you wisdom. A role model for this is someone who is wise and will share that knowledge in the future. And so I think it's important as a leadership crucible to have this wisdom to pass down to other people. And so with the wisdom, you always got to test the limits. Limits is what drives people to be better, in my opinion. Once I asked myself, I realized I'm not doing as much as I'm capable of. That's when I realized maybe it's because I need to push the limits a little bit more. And so you can't push these limits without having a good support system. So I'm blessed to have such a strong support system in my life that are filled with people who love me and are there for me in every decision that I make. Having the support system also builds love. And so I think love has shaped most of my actions in my life. Love does not mean just blood related people. Love comes from your coworkers, your pets, your friends, anyone who you can think of. So my example is also being a caretaker is a leadership crucible. You have to be that strong connection and that role model for someone. And so for that is I'm a caretaker to my little pup, and she literally means the whole world to me. So also being a caretaker means that you have to be translucent. You have to let everyone see who you really are. You can't hide behind these doors and act like someone you're not. You have to be you. And so with this translucency comes integrity. You need to be honest with yourself and others what your values are. Don't try to be a people pleaser and try to do things the way that other people want. This is something that I have struggled with. You have to do you for you. And with integrity comes creativity. You have to be creative about any types of problems or situations that you run into because you never know what could happen in everyday life. And so I think being creative and being able to find the way out of certain things is super important. Then I think you have to be funny. I think this is a given. Humor is used in my everyday life. I think you cannot be a leader unless you have at least some type of humor in you and make others laugh. And so that is super important to me. It also builds that comfort aspect to me as well. And obviously, I think a given is to be positive. This sticker is also from my work, like a sticker that I took from someone. But, having that positive outlook on life, it's hard for me because I am a pessimist. But yeah,